Do you ever feel unmotivated in your everyday life and it feels like no matter what you do, it's just never good enough? Well, in this video, we're going to be going over some of the ways that you can notice burnout and how to fix it. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around to the very end so you do not miss out on all the important things I'm going to be discussing. Now, one of the first things that you will notice when you have burnout is fatigue. Fatigue is very common within our society, and it often leads us with a mindset, a mental block. We have no clarity. We get into this negative mindset within ourselves, and we can never focus on what we have to get done so that we can work efficiently. I would also like to point out a personal story that I have with fatigue. When I was younger, I used to go to school, and at the end of the week, I would feel so stressed out. I would look pale, like somebody told me I looked pale, and I had migraines, and I was just so tense that all I wanted to do is just sleep. And this came from just being so stressed out with assignments and work and tests and exams, and it was just so stressful. So this is super important, and I hope you can relate to what I've experienced in the past, and if you do, let me know in the comments section. Now, while fatigue is one of the first things that we will notice with burnout, the next thing that could come before burnout is irritability. Irritability is super important to consider because when we are in this state of irritability, we tend to feel very annoyed with those around us, ourselves, and even our work environment. Again, this ties back into that negative mindset that I was talking about earlier. This negative mindset creates those blocks, and it creates the stress, and it creates negativity towards yourself and this ability to just not get anything done and work with our truest potential. Irritability does come before fatigue, but one of the things that I do want to point out is, again, stress. Consistent stress is one of our last symptoms of burnout, and stress comes before all of the things that I have mentioned, so oftentimes it will look like dominoes being kind of knocked over visually. So we'll start with stress, and then it will go to irritability, and then it will go to fatigue/burnout. Now that we've discussed all the ways that we can notice burnout, it's finally time to discuss some of the ways that we can get rid of it. One of the first things that I would actually do is remove yourself from your environment. When you remove yourself from your environment, you are finally able to break free from all the things I've mentioned: stress, irritability, fatigue, all of it. So when you remove from your environment, you are mentally freeing yourself from all of those distractions and all of those mental blocks. This can even look like going into a separate room and meditating. This can look like drawing, reading, coloring, doing your favorite hobbies. It can look like going on a walk. It can look like just getting fresh air. It can look like anything, but just doing something that will separate you from your space will ultimately recharge yourself and reset your mind so that you can come back with your 100%. Now that we've finally removed ourselves from our environment, we can actually talk to a friend. A friend can actually relate to our experience with burnout, and although they may not be able to relate fully or truly understand our situation, they can understand where we are coming from, because we can both connect and communicate and relate to burnout, because again, in our society, we are so used to experiencing burnout all of the time. Step 3 is going to be writing down your thoughts and writing down your emotions on paper. When we write down our emotions, and we can remove all that jumble from our brain onto a separate object, it helps to really understand all of the distractions that we're having and look at all of our thoughts so that we can get a better perspective and learn how to handle this in the future. If you made this far into the video and you feel like you're very confident with all the things I have mentioned on how to notice and how to fix burnout, the next thing that I want you to focus on is your gut health. Gut health is super important for not only your physical health, but your mental health. So if this sounds interesting to you and you want to learn how to balance your gut properly when we're going into the new year, make sure to click the link on the screen to learn how to balance your gut now.